What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie BBQ. What I'll be doing today is we are going to be smoking some St. Louis style ribs. I'm going to be doing this on my Camp Chef Woodwind. The reason I'm doing these ribs is a friend of mine is having a housewarming party and wanted me to cook some stuff just because he doesn't have the capacity to cook everything he needs. So I told him I'd pick up the slack. Now, knowing that he knows about good barbecue, I'm definitely going to try to come correct on this, and I'm definitely going to try to bring it. Anyway, I made up my own homemade rub. I'm going to let you guys see that. This rub is amazing. We're going to be also basting it down with the base that I'm making. First thing I need to do, season up these ribs. Let's go. So as far as these ribs go, I did go ahead and remove the membrane. I did pull off some of the fat, but since I'm cooking so much, we just clean this up real quick. You could obviously trim this down a little bit more. The rub I'm using is a homemade rub, and that's kind of what it looks like. If anybody's interested in the recipe, let me know. I might do a video on it, but this is something that I kind of throw together. I primarily use this not only for the flavor, but it puts some good color on the ribs. And I'm not using any binder or anything like that. Alright, so that's the bottom side. I'm going to go ahead and let this rub kind of seep in a little bit, then we'll flip it over and get the other side. I'll also get these edges done as well. I'll do that off camera. So this seasoning looks like it's seeped into the meat pretty good, so we're just going to go ahead and flip it over. We're going to hit this other side. And this rub is definitely putting some good color on these ribs. Alright, so this is a wrap. I'm going to go ahead and let this seep in. In the meantime, let's get outside and get this Camp Chef fired up. So before we go outside and start up this Camp Chef Woodwind, what I want to talk to you about is how I'm actually going to be powering this unit. What I'm going to be using to actually run that Camp Chef off of is an electric generator that was sent to me by a company called Kodiac. I'm going to leave a link to all their information in the description below. Now this comes in handy for me because I have two pellet smokers out there that I often run at the same time. And what ends up happening, primarily in winter, is if I have them plugged into the same outlet, I'm not sure if it's not getting enough power or what, but it's hard for me to maintain my temperature, so I end up running a cord into my house into a separate outlet. For those of you guys that have been with my channel for a long time, you know that a couple, 3 years ago, I had a smaller Traeger, and I forget what I was cooking on it, but the power went out, and I ended up having to fire up another smoker, so this comes in handy for those reasons alone. Anyway, before I get into the full review, I'm going to run this and see kind of how this operates. Alright, so this seemed easy enough to me. Went ahead, turned it on, plugged the smoker into the unit. It's going through its startup function. Once we hit 250 degrees, we'll go ahead and throw these ribs on. So the smoker's at 250 degrees. Let's go ahead and throw them on. And that color is amazing already right off the bat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these cook until they start getting a little dry, and we're going to be basting them like every 45 minutes. And what I'm basting with is just going to be like some white wine vinegar, butter, and apple juice, and then a bit of the rub I also added in what we're going to be basting it with. Now we're about an hour and 20 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and start basting these ribs down. I already know before you tell me I need to get a better basting brush, and I thought about running out and getting one, but we're working with what we got. And once I do this, we're going to be basting them every 45 minutes. Alright guys, so we are 3 hours in on these ribs, and you will not believe it, the power actually just went out in my house. So if I didn't have this generator, I would be either having to finish these off in the oven or one of my other grills. Anyway, looks like we're starting to get some bend on these ribs, so I'm not going to wrap them or anything yet because I am going to finish wrapping them when I add some sauce, but I'm going to turn this down to about 200 220 degrees. I'm just gonna baste this probably for the last time here. And next time you see me, we will be wrapping these ribs. But we're only gonna be wrapping them for about, 35 minutes. We're not gonna do a traditional 3, 2, 1 on them. I know that this power going out and everything seemed kind of odd when I'm doing a video on an electric generator, but I'm just gonna prove it now. I'm pushing on the buttons on my microwave, they're not turning on. My oven's not turning on. So just trying to offer just a little bit of proof that this actually did happen, because I mean, you couldn't have wrote a more perfect script. So guys, I'm on the phone with Mike from Everyday Barbecue, and I was telling him about this stuff, and I told him that, yeah, I tried to prove that the power went out. So he said, man, nobody's gonna believe you. So I'm opening up my refrigerator so you can take a look. You don't see no lights in there. Let's go ahead and shut that up. Hit the ice and water dispenser. Nothing's coming out of here either. So, hey Mike, say what's up to everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Anyway, I'm gonna leave a link to Mike's YouTube page in the iCard above and description below. Run by there, check him out. Anyway, like I said, next time I see you, we'll be wrapping these ribs, putting the final touches on them. So sorry about the light right now, but like I mentioned earlier, I don't have any power in the house. Let's just go ahead and finish up these ribs. What I'm gonna be using is I have some butter. I prefer squeezed butter, but I couldn't find any at the store this morning. Apple juice I have in a squirt bottle. Some You Know You Want It barbecue sauce. I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description below. Run by there and pick up a 6-pack or 2. We got some brown sugar and some honey. So very simple. All we're gonna do is just gonna lay down a bed of brown sugar and kind of spread it out about the length of what you would think that the ribs are gonna be. And you don't have to worry about it being overly sweet, because a lot of this stuff is gonna come out in the glaze. So we got the brown sugar on, hit it with some butter. All right. Let's go over it with this. We're just putting enough of this apple juice on here just to kind of be moist. Let me move this butter out of the way. Get it with some of this honey. All right, set this out of the way. Now we're gonna go barbecue sauce. Maybe a little bit more. We're gonna throw our ribs on, meat side down. Now we're gonna come back over the back with a little bit more of this sauce. And we're just gonna go ahead and wrap it. And these are gonna go back out on the smoker, meat side down, for about another 45 minutes. As a matter of fact, next time you see me, if there's enough light outside, I may show them to you, but next time you see me, we may be at this housewarming party. So as far as those ribs went, once they got off the smoker, I drained off the liquid, mixed it with a little bit of barbecue sauce, glazed them down, and then I just put them in a foil pan because I took them to the party the next day. Anyway, as far as this taste test you're about to see, I'm sorry if the focus was a little bit blurry, but I did have a few libations in me, so my vision wasn't coming 100% correct. Alright, so I am here with my boy Marcus. Now Marcus knows how to throw down on some barbecue as well. That's right. He's gonna go ahead and get in on this taste test now. Like I mentioned in the video, this is a second day rib cook, so I thought they were, they weren't fall off the bone, but they were kind of close there. But go ahead and taste it and see what you think.
I'm looking forward to it, but let me get a little bit of my red Kool-Aid.
You know how we do. You know how we do.
That's it. That's
Anyway.
it. Taste the sweetness of that. Taste the brown sugar. It's got a good chew to it as well. Okay. All right. That's good. No complaints here. Well, we didn't make enough, so we may have to exclude some others from having some of this. But this is excellent.
You got a lot of hot dogs. Anyway, thanks for taking part in this, counselor.
It's my honor, believe me, and my pleasure.
All right. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie BBQ. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.